Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So I guess we're going to talk about pardoning war criminals tonight. Since I am back from my forced vacation from Facebook, I've been going through the messages. There's a whole lot of people asking about it. And the problem is they're asking about the pardons, as if it's one group. They're not. It's each incident has its own characteristics. You can't lump them all together like that. And then a whole lot of the people that sent messages specifically asked about my opinion on the Contractor, and we will get to that. Okay, so the guy that's already been pardoned, he was an Army lieutenant. Now, the story is two of his guys get killed by a bomb. Army intel's like, this is the bomb maker, we think. And somehow, this suspected bomb maker ends up in his custody. He takes him out to somewhere secluded to interrogate him. I believe that. I really do. I don't think he took him out there with the intention of killing him. I think he was trying to confirm what Army intelligence believed. He shouldn't have been doing it, but I think that's what he was doing. Then this is where it gets murky. According to him, there was a physical altercation. He was worried the guy was going to get his weapon, and he killed him. According to the government, well, he killed him. And that's really they've kind of left that very vague. However, it appears that the government withheld evidence at his trial. So we don't really know what went down there. Things like this happen. They do. It's not right. He never should have had this guy in his custody, period. Period. Anybody who was surprised by this, anyway, they happen. It's not right, but it happens. You've got the guy who you believe killed two of your buddies. You're not going to cut him a lot of slack if he starts to resist. So we need to keep that in mind. The other thing we need to keep in mind is that this guy's already done his time. He was out. He was on a supervised release, parole, whatever it is they have. He had already done his time in prison. So in effect, this pardon cuts his probation short, which happens all the time without a pardon. That's not a big deal, and it gives him a clean slate. I find it very unlikely that this guy is going to reoffend. To me, it seems like an incident in which his emotions got the better of him and somebody died. He went to prison. He's out. I don't really have a problem with this one. I don't have a problem with this pardon. Now, on Memorial Day, apparently the president wants to pardon more people. And those that he is considering is a Navy chief. One of them is a Navy chief who is alleged to have opened fire with his machine gun on villages multiple times without a discernible target. Used his sniper rifle to kill a young girl and an old man, and stabbed a teenaged captive, killed him. That's a pattern. That is a pattern. This is a very different situation. The guy was a SEAL, which means he should understand that opening fire on a village for no reason whatsoever just gives the insurgency propaganda, helps them recruit people to kill his friends. The only thing you really need to know about this case, other SEALs turned him in. Other SEALs gave him up. That's all if you know nothing about the Spec Ops community, the Special Operations community, you think the police have a wall of silence. These guys do not talk. They don't turn each other in. For other SEALs to have turned this guy in, this is probably just the tip of the iceberg. My belief is that this guy's probably not deserving of a pardon. Creating propaganda like that for the opposition is to me unforgivable. The next case is an Army major another suspected bomb maker in custody, kills him, and they throw him in a fire pit. This seems a little different. An Army major captures a bomb maker. That's a feather in his cap. That's a win for him. That makes him look good. For it to go down the way it did, it's almost like they weren't sure. But they didn't want to let him go. So they killed him. I can't really warrant a pardon there either. I don't have all the details like I do in some of these others. But from what I have heard, no. This guy does not need to be out walking around. Then the Marines that were urinating on opposition KIAs. That type of stuff happens. It's wrong. The worst thing they did, in my opinion, is they produced evidence that they did it. And that evidence got out. And then it produced that propaganda that helped the insurgency recruit people to kill their friends. Now, these guys, they're done. They're all out, I'm sure, by now. The only one I know of that was involved in this, since he's been done, he helped stop a contract killing in Tennessee. Helped the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation stopped a hitman from being hired. Again, this is one of those things. They're done. Their punishment's over. Want to give them a clean slate. I understand that. And the reality is, because that propaganda got spread so far and so wide, they got to live with that. They know the outcome of what happened. They know what occurred because of what they did. And they have to live with it. Nothing the criminal justice system is going to be able to do to them is going to match that. Nothing. Letting them go on with their lives, I don't really have a problem with it. I don't. Now, on to the contractor. A lot of the people that asked about this one specifically, I went to your profile and I noticed that a lot of you worked for firms that I recognize. Think you were hoping to get somebody's voice out there to maybe speak in favor of this. You chose the wrong dude. As a contractor, you are supposed to be a professional, not open fire on crowds. Ever. Period. Full stop. End of story. If you want to behave like some cut-rate merc, go work for some tin-pot dictator. As far as I'm concerned, that sentence is too light. I don't think he should have been brought back here. I think they should have let the Iraqis handle it. That would have been justice. He was not part of the U.S. military. The Iraqi government, in my opinion, had jurisdiction over that. They should be able to make the call on what happens to him. And yeah, you want to behave like that, there's a whole bunch of places, whole bunch of locations, whole bunch of firms that you can go to, and you can work like that, and you'll end up at the end of the machete, just like everybody else. That is not something that happens in a professional organization. Now, I will, as far as the urinating on the opposition KIAs, I'm going to link a video. If you have a dark sense of humor and foul language does not bother you, this pretty much gives my whole opinion on it. If either one of those things do bother you, don't watch it. Now, the fact that he wants to pardon these guys on Memorial Day. Some of these people created propaganda that recruited more insurgents, that created some of the people who are supposed to be honored on Memorial Day. Memorial Day is not Veterans Day. Memorial Day is for those who were killed. I think it's in pretty poor taste to do it then. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good night.